Good morning. Today is, what is today? Today is the 21st, December 21st, and we're going to start with a daily reflection on the Old Testament. I was lost for a minute, but I'm found. Okay. What doth the Lord require of thee but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God? Micah 6:8. The Lord's standard of righteousness remains unchanged in every generation. Do good works and treat people fairly. Extend mercy and forgiveness to others, and be meek and humble. The Lord requireth the heart and a willing mind, and the willing and obedient shall eat the good of the land of Zion in these last days. If we want a place in Zion with the fellowship of the saints and in celestial glory with those who have their names written in heaven, we must live with integrity, be compassionate and kind-hearted, and submissively seek to do the will of the Lord. That is the gospel in action. The everlasting gospel is not found in pontificating and theorizing, nor in debating and speculating. The essence of what the Lord requires of us is simply living the gospel with full purpose of heart, a soft and sympathetic heart, a meek and merciful heart, a gracious and generous heart. I don't think I have that type of heart, but I can work on it. Okay. Ugh. Today is water. So we're going to start in Exodus chapter 17, verses 1 through 6. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of the Lord, and pitched their tent, and there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moses, and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moses said unto them, Why chide ye with me? Wherefore do ye tempt the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moses, and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us, and our children, and our cattle with thirst? And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come out water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders. I mean, we went over this, but the whining and but that's not what we're supposed to be focused on. We're supposed to be focused on the water. It coming out of a most unusual place, the rock. Which in 2 days we're going to talk about how Jesus is the rock. But today let's talk about him being the living waters, about how in a place where there is no water, where you're thirsting for knowledge, you're thirsting for truth, you can find him in an unusual place, and he will give abundantly. Now we move on to Jeremiah 2:13. For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewn them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. So again, metaphor. He is the fountain of living water, and they've made for themselves cisterns, which I believe are vessels, that can't hold water. What use is a deed that can't hold the living water? What use is a life that can't hold the living water? It's good for nothing. Now we move on to Ezekiel chapter 47, verses 1 through 12. And I believe this is a vision. Yes. We had just talked about Ezekiel a couple weeks ago. Where did we talk about Ezekiel? Oh, yes. Back in November we talked about Ezekiel, or even October. But I believe it's a vision. And in the vision, a man is showing him a house. And out of the house, from this side and this side and this side, comes water, rushing water. And the man has a stick or a rod, a string of some kind, a measurement. He measures 1,000 cubits out or whatever. And the water is to Ezekiel's ankles. And then he measures 1,000 more and it's up to his knees. And then 1,000 more and it's up to his loins. And then 1,000 more and he can't pass over it. And then he said unto me, these waters issue out towards the east country, and go down into the desert, and go into the sea, which being brought forth into the sea, the water shall be healed, the Dead Sea. So it has so much salt in it that nothing can live, But these waters coming forth out of this house, let's say the Lord's house, shall heal what is dead, shall bring life to where it can't live. And it shall come to pass that everything that liveth, which moveth whithersoever the rivers shall come, shall live. And there shall be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters shall come hither, for they shall be healed, and everything shall live whither the river cometh. Now, if we're thinking of Christ as the water, which we should be, whither he goes, everything shall live. Multitudes of fishes, but we can say anything we want, I guess. People, good deeds, righteousness will live whither he goes. Where he takes his water and it flows into the earth, that is going to be a prosperous, thriving place. Let's see. I don't want to read all the way to 12, but and by the river upon the bank whereof on this side and on that side shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade, neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed. It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months. Because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine. So any living thing, tree upon the banks of this river that are flowing from this house will never fade. Everything that the fountain of living water touches will prosper. Now, let's take this analogy to heart and say, if I were a tree, where am I planted? Am I planted along the bank of this living water with my roots stretched out into the river? Or am I a few yards back with my roots kind of reaching towards the water? Where am I planted? If the living waters come, am I fading? Am I fading in my life? Do I need to move myself closer? There you go. Okay, then we move on to John chapter 4, verse 7 through 14. And this is the woman of Samaria, the woman at the well, if you will. Anyways, he tells her to draw him some water. And she says, why are you telling me to draw you water? I'm a Samaritan, Samaritan? Not a T. I'm a Samaritan, you're a Jew. And he goes, if you knew who you were talking to, you wouldn't say that. What is it, through 14? If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Jesus answered and said to her, Whomsoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. All I could think of was like a testimony when he says should be a springing well inside of him. It's this testimony of Jesus Christ, this love of him that is so springing up and bubbling over that you have to share it. That's what that made me think of. And those are all my thoughts for today. A prayer from a diary of prayer. But let's go over the verses first. So today was water. Exodus chapter 17, verses 1 through 6. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13. Ezekiel chapter 47, verses 1 through 12. And John chapter 4, verses 7 through 14. Tomorrow, we talk about the brass serpent, which is Numbers chapter 21, verses 4 through 9, and John chapter 3, verses 14 through 15. So it's going to be a short one, but that's tomorrow. And so now I will leave you with a prayer from a diary of prayer, because today is the 21st, we're starting on Christmas prayers. It's Christmas week. Are you not excited? I'm excited. Not excited to go to work today. If there was ever a day I didn't want to go to work, today would be that day. But anyways, this prayer comes from Book to a Mother, Bodleian MS, slightly adapted. Lord, I will go to Mary and make covenant with her, to keep her child, not for her need, but for mine, and take to me the sweet child, and swathe him in his cradle with love bands. Lord, help me to put from me the cradle of self-love, and draw me to the cradle of true love, for that liketh this child to rest in him, and so in my soul sing love-like and say, lovely little child, fairest of hue, have mercy on me, sweet Jesu? I don't know how to pronounce that. It's shortened Jesus. And while I thus sing, I will be sorry and think how oft I have received my God and laid him in a foul common stable to all the 7 deadly sins, and seldom fully cleansed to God's liking. Therefore oft sigh and sorrow, and shrive me to God as I rock the cradle and sing and say, lovely little child. It was okay, it wasn't great. All right. That was all. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow when we talk about the brass serpent. Bye.